All right, so a quick little video, little walk around. Closest neighbors down here. Let's see if you can see him through here. Can't quite, but there's a house right there. It's a really nice one. I think he's on at least 20 or 30 acres. This is the road, county maintained road that leads up to the property. And then the building pad that exists now that we could always modify or expand at some point is right here. Here's a little road. All right, so this is the front of the property. It goes back to this bluff. If you look up here, it's hard to tell because of sunlight. There's a big ridge up there and a road runs up there. Not the road that we get to our house on, but a separate little arm of it. And the back of the property is basically that big cliff. I mean, it's almost a cliff. So nobody will build behind us. That's nice. It's covered in big trees. Lots of big ponderosa pines. I mean, you can't quite tell in the picture, but this guy is a massive tree. He's probably 100 years old. Big trees. And the property wraps around here as well. So I'm going to walk through the whole thing. First, let's go up to the building pad where the well's at. This side of the property is fairly level. I think this is where we could have kind of like a yard or expand our building if we wanted to. Or we get creative and build up into this hillside over here where it's steeper. And that would allow us a big view of all the stuff that's down here. More pines. There's a real big ponderosa pine up here by the building pad. Really densely wooded, lots of plants, lots of critters. And this is what they cleared out, I'm assuming, just to be able to get the equipment back here to drill the well. This tree's huge. It's massive. It's beautiful. All right, so let's keep going back this way. It's hard to kind of see the lay of the land on a video or picture or anything because it's just so dense, which is super rare because all the ones I've seen have been totally cleared. This one, I mean, obviously I would never want to do it, but it probably does have a significant amount of money and marketable timber that could be sold. So this is looking out over the valley that lies down below, right? And then we could build down here, or we could build up here on the side of this hill and have a better view. So this side over here, the road, let's see, starts right there and it runs right here. That's the front side of the property. Then we've got all along the back this big ridge, right? This side, like the 10 acres over here, is fairly sloped like this. It starts about like here and it keeps going up and up and up, and once you're at the back it's like a cliff, but it has big beautiful trees on it. And I think it'd be really cool to have little trails and stuff that wind through back there where we could go just kind of sit and enjoy nature and stuff. And then this makes a lot of sense for the building area because over here this is all fairly level, and then the level area actually extends over this direction over here as well. So that's level to begin with, especially once we start excavating, and we can probably take some of this, trench it out, and then move the dirt down and expand this building pad this way towards the road, and give ourselves plenty of space. And then I imagine this area over here that's fairly level to kind of rolling, I'll walk you around it, would be a cool spot to have like basically a yard, a place for puppies to run and play and all that. All right, so let's walk down the little driveway to the front of the property. I'm going to take you to the boundaries, at least as they front this road. The woods are so dense that you can't even really get back there. I mean, you can, but you can't see anything. All right. So first, from the driveway right here, we're gonna go to down the road to the end. Now this, as you can see, is like the steep part, but it's still really pretty. And it means that never will anybody be able to build over on this side or behind us. There's one neighbor up on the hill there, and there's another property over there, but we're pretty well sheltered, especially with all the trees, from anybody being too close for comfort. This is all us, potentially, if we decide to go with this one. And then another big ponderosa pine right there. You just can't get an idea of how big these trees are. They're massive. Very good trees. So it goes all the way down here. There's only, I think, 1 or 2 neighbors on the very end, and they're kind of tucked down in a valley. So down here you can see fairly level, and then it gets steeper as you continue to go down. But lots of different trees. There's even aspens and stuff. Big bluff up there. And see, this guy has a real nice house, considering that people are starting to build nice houses out here. And the road is county maintained. There's power underground. There's cell reception. There is water readily available. Most of the wells down here are fairly shallow. This may well end up getting built up a little bit, or at least people building nice houses. So down the road, certainly, I think that we get our money back out of it, and probably then some. You can see it just goes straight up there, and then it kind of levels out here. This is the steepest part of the property, but still accessible and still viable for little trails and stuff, and still very, very pretty, especially with these views. I mean, look at that. Maybe we could position the house so we get a view of that ridge up there too. The property's still going, still going. You kind of get a little bit of an idea of the slope there. It's not too bad. I don't know if you can see, maybe you can make it out through here. You can't quite see, but the property goes all the way up there to the ridge. Almost to the end of the property down here. But what a nice quiet road, man. The most people you'd ever have driving by this road are three neighbors, because you've got the house down there right across from us. You got one here, and then there's one up there. And that is it. And look, I mean, I know it maybe doesn't look like it, but compared to every other place I've been, this road is really nice. All right. So the boundary line is roughly right about over here. I mean, weirdly, the boundary line is somewhere over here. I almost wonder if, hold on, I have stupid little bugs on me. Get off me, bugs. I wonder if that power box is on our property. If it's not, it's real close. That'd be a weird place to have the power box and the well's over there, but the power runs right here along the side of the road all the way around. So anywhere that we want, we could probably have a power box set up and tied in. But the property cuts pretty much straight back here and up that bluff, and then it continues all over this way on the side of the road. And it's sandwiched, so this street comes down here. Our property's all the way to the back to the road. It's called Shea Hill that runs along the ridge up here. So we've got roads on both sides. I mean, not really trafficked roads. The other one, nobody goes up. It's kind of rough, but we won't need to go up there, thankfully. Going back this way. Back up to the driveway here where the car is. All right, so when you continue past the driveway, this road sort of snakes around in a fashion where it comes up here and then goes back around up the hill like that, and everything between the road on this side is ours. It's a big old tree, man. There's so many good trees. But as you can see, well, maybe you can see, going straight back here, this is all fairly level and usable. On the other side, we'll have to dig a little bit, but this is pretty usable as is. See the road snakes around up here, and then all of this is part of the property. Everything on the right, at least. So, see, power cable right there. I'll turn around here and kind of give us a view of what's beneath us. So, all this is part of the property. Come on up here. This road really is pretty nice. So maybe I can get a good vantage point from this little knoll. Alright. There we go. Yeah, maybe those help a little bit. Okay. Looking down the drive. Up here. All that. So as we continue around this way, so the road comes. All that's part of the property. All this, all through here is the property. Curious what that is. It might be where the power cables run. What is that? I don't know what that is. I've seen them around here. A couple of them. Looks like a vent tube of some kind. Looking into those woods, all that is part of the property. And still quite a ways up here. Big old tree, man. The video just does not show how big these trees are. Easily 70, 80 feet tall. Some are really, really big. Let's get down to the property there. All part of the property. Looks like maybe it was timbered a long, long time ago, like more than 60 or 70 years. Because I bet some of these trees that I see, there's a big old log down there. I mean, look at this stump. That stump's huge. It's a big tree. I'll bet it was probably logged 50 or 60 years ago. And there were probably 15 or 20 year trees that were standing at that time that they left to grow bigger. And now those trees are probably 70, 80, or 90 years old, I would imagine. All right, so we're approaching where the property ends. All this is like the very sort of level, usable part as you get down into the woods, especially up here. So, the property ends somewhere right up here. So basically, and there you can see a little bit down into it. So pretty, man. But let's say the property ends right here. All right, so this is the road. The property starts right here where I'm standing and then goes back. And this is a good spot. See how tall that bluff is way up there? It's probably 150, 200 feet. The property actually goes all the way up onto that. So nobody will ever be able to build behind you. You're always back up to, you know, big old trees and privacy. And it comes, the property line comes straight down here. And then it gets to this road. And then it runs along the road all the way back around, down past that guy's house and towards the end where I showed you over there. Now this side of the property is the most level and the most useful, probably like where our yard and potentially building space is, and that other side is more the slope that runs down from that bluff. But that leaves us with plenty of usable space. And I think that the bluff will actually be really cool once we can cut some little trails into it. Be a nice place to go for a little hike, or we can even ride like mountain bikes up there and stuff and let the pup run around. And tons of chipmunks and birds and critters up here, especially like at dusk. And they really like the dense forest that exists on that slope, on that hillside, it seems like. Lots of deer trails, lots of game paths and places where you can tell that deer have bedded down. Super, super pretty. But this is really about all that you can see. I mean, looking from the road, it's just hard to, it's so thick, which is part of why I like it so much. There's not many properties like this that have trees on them. Most of them are just barren. And the neighbor behind us is right up there. He can't see it, but he has leveled a pad. And he's kind of doing what I think we're doing. I think he's just starting with leveling a pad, and he's living in his camper. He's got his camper and all his toys and motorcycles and stuff up there. But he's got utilities. Looks like he's got a well, and it looks like he's got power. So he's basically camping out there, and he's got a big level pad. I won't go up there and bother him, but I drove up there yesterday, and it's kind of a good example of what we could potentially do on ours. His is also very slow, but he took out part of the hillside, moved it down, and then leveled this big pad there that's probably easily an acre, maybe 2. So plenty of space to have like a big yard and stuff. So yeah, that's about all you can see from here. Maybe I'll go up on the ridge that runs up there. It kind of cuts into a valley and then comes back out and runs over there. And from there you can see down onto the property, or at least you can see how high up the property goes. It's actually kind of cool. It would be pretty amazing to have like build a trail and then have like a deck set into concrete piers. Maybe you could kind of climb up on the side and then, like, you know, barbecue and hang out and look out over this view, which you can't quite see through all these trees and from being as low as I am, but it is a big, big view. All right, bye.